Welcome here to another episode of the Pitboard discussions where the checkered flag is just the beginning. Now, today is a special episode because it's the last episode of the year. And I'm getting weird vibes about it. I didn't want this to end. We're not saying goodbye, but the last episode of the year is always emotional. But anyway, I'm your host, Ace, a troubleman himself. Twice is nice, smooth as ice, never had a bad day in my life. And to my left,
Mushiri, the statman.
The statman Mushiri. Where's the energy, my guy?
Iko kwa reserve.
Iko kwa reserve. Iko kwa reserve power.
It's coming.
Okay. And to my right?
Done. Simply done.
Simply done. Simply done. We'll work with simply done. So now we are coming fresh from the Abu Dhabi GP.
Yeah.
We had a triple header. Our last episode was after the events of the other triple header.
The America's triple header.
The America's triple header. And we had a break. Then another triple header occurred. And it's really difficult to shoot episodes within these triple headers because so much is going on and there's so much content to be churned out. Yeah. But today, we have something really special to talk about. The championship review. You know, 2024 has been the longest F1 season in history.
Hey, how many races, bro?
24.
24, yeah.
24 races. 24 races. So, 24 races, spectacular races. We also had a few records being broken. I think it's the first time, 4 teams have had different winners. No, we've had multiple winners from multiple teams. Like kumekuwa na a lot of different winners this season compared to any other season.
Yeah. It's the first time ever with 7 drivers with multiple drivers
winning.
Yeah.
And
the top 4 each alikuwa na 1-2.
Yeah, kulikuwa na 1-2 except Red Bull.
Red Bull they have
akuwa na 1-2 kwa there, but yeah.
Hey, there's also another I know it's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe no one will remember this in 5 years or even maybe next year. But it's the first time where a driver has completed the season without any damages.
Yeah,
for Gasly.
Shout out to that.
But there are people throwing doubts. They're saying that in Japan he came in contact with somebody.
Nah, it's yet to be proven. So we are going to give Gasly his flowers. First things first. DJ, do the thing. Do the thing. Applause.
We have a flowers sample here.
Yes. Those are Gasly applause. Now, let's get into it. The championship review so far this year. First things first, congratulations to the walking outfit. McLaren. We could see the emotions pour out yesterday. They finally won the championship after since our Lord Jesus Christ left.
98.
Since AD. It's been long. It's been a minute.
1998.
Yeah. When Mika Hakkinen was winning the drivers' championships in Rio. That's the season. 98, Hakkinen was the winner.
Watch as a no, I don't remember.
But yeah, McLaren are finally
either
broken
98 and 99. 98 and 99. Because I think 2000 was Michael.
You know, we haven't even reacted to them winning the championship. I feel like I'm so... Okay. I can't say I'm gutted because this is the house that Zach Brown built and I'm really proud of what Zach Brown has achieved with this team.
You are a McLaren hater. You remember?
I'm wondering
a Ferrari.
like,
What has happened?
Yeah, no cigars today, unfortunately. Tulikuwa tumesema we win the championship, kuna cigars inakuja hapa tuvute, but apparently won't happen. I just have to give flowers and credit where it's due because McLaren have come a long way. Like looking at where they were 2 seasons ago, not even 5 or 6, just 2 seasons ago, looking at where they were. Like it will have been a tough sell to tell somebody in 2024 they will be constructors champions. And if were it not for the individual brilliance that Max Verstappen brings to the table, I believe Lando could have also challenged for the drivers' championship and come out on top.
Who?
Lando.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but McLaren, kudos. Everything they've worked for behind the scenes has finally paid off. Means less wind tunnel time for them, so that they won't have more time to test the flexi wing.
Serves them right.
Yeah, but they aren't the only ones who are actually pushing this to the very end. Because getting into the Abu Dhabi GP, we also had Ferrari, 21 points off the top. And it was really interesting. Now, the reason I'm calling it interesting is because the previous race, that's Qatar, McLaren had a miss. Was it that one? Kulikuwa na miss up. Lando was given a 10-second
Yeah.
Penalty for not
penalty
lifting.
when he was uko mbele, when he was leading uko mbele.
He was P2.
Yeah, walikuwa it looked like the FIA were trying to screw McLaren to some degree because some people didn't quite agree with that penalty that was handed. But other guys were just like, let's see how it pans out. Then coming into Abu Dhabi, Ferrari are the ones who are now getting the penalties because Charles had a 10-place grid penalty and had his lap time deleted.
Well,
quali.
For quali.
In quali, it's or okay. If you're replacing components beyond your allocation, that's clear. There's no gray area.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go beyond track limits, your lap time gets deleted. That is clear. But there's some gray area.
There's some gray area.
Because I remember Checo, his lap time got deleted. They made some noise. It got reinstated.
Yeah.
I think also Piastri, one of his lap times was deleted.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But comparing that to Lando's, was it 20 seconds? No, it was a stop and go.
It was a stop and go.
Yeah.
The Lando's one was a bit harsh.
And
I
he
don't
was
think so.
supposed to serve it within 3 laps.
Yes.
Yeah, he was supposed to. He was buying time because I think he wanted to build in the gap. There was a gap he was trying to build so that they can minimize the damage when they come out. But then they got what again? He has to do it within the next 3 laps
I don't think it was harsh.
because it involved a Red Bull.
No. It wasn't harsh. We've seen other instances where FIA just cook something out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're talking about harsh penalties,
Yeah.
we can look at Australia, Alonso and Russell. Russell was looking at his wheel. He wasn't paying attention. Alonso was up ahead. Alonso just decided to, I'm just going to break Kidogo and take this corner. And Russell, looking up, was like, Alonso is too close. Then Russell lost control of his car. Alonso got a penalty.
In the realm of harshness, in that world, I think we should also throw in the Yuki bit. Was it Yuki and Lance Stroll early in the season?
What happened?
They had a moment whereby I think Lance wasn't really aware of his surroundings, like everybody around. And Yuki had the pressures of, getting a good start because that's the time in the season whereby they were still talking about the Red Bull second seat and everything like that. And he was trying to outperform his teammate at the time, who was Daniel Ricciardo. And they ended up touching and they collided and Yuki had to DNF. And I remember, was it Lance had a penalty or something? And I was like, that's a bit harsh. That's a bit harsh. And
For causing a collision or what?
yeah, at the start, at the lights out, immediately at lights out.
Well, there's some inconsistencies.
Yeah,
Because
that
we
was
also
super
saw
harsh.
that happening, Max and Piastri. To me, that was harsh.
Which one? The Abu Dhabi one?
Yes. Lap 1, turn 1, that was harsh.
It should be a lap 1 incident.
Yeah, that's a lap 1 incident. We've seen it happen throughout the entire calendar. So what makes this any different? I can take you back to this year. Remember Hamilton, Miami? I turned right, everyone good luck. I think he hit Alonso and then Alonso, I think he bounced on Stroll or something.
But one thing we can agree on, I think the FIA were trying to clamp down on their regulations a lot more towards the latter stages of the season. They were being less passive and more proactive.
I don't know. I honestly believe that there's some biases that go on. We've had drivers pick up against it. Alonso has been very vocal on this, saying maybe you just have the wrong passport. This was at Miami, and even before that, we've seen some inconsistencies where we're like, what the hell is going on? Baku 2023, Russell just decided to dive bomb Max. Cold tires race, as in the race, I think it was restarting or something. He dive bombed into Max. Max, I think, had damage on his sideboard or something. Guy went scot-free. Nothing happened.
The passport thing is really hard to say, really difficult to talk about because
There's a pattern.
But yeah, there have been some inconsistencies from the FIA.
Look at Qatar. Would you say that Max deserved to get that one grid drop penalty?
The one with Russell.
Yes.
For ilikuwa ni for no, because Russell was not on a fly. Was not on a
Was
flyer.
it a brake test or something?
No, it wasn't even a brake test.
It was something about obstruction. It was obstruction or something.
No.
Russell was not on a flyer.
failure to observe sijui race director's notes, as in to keep that time delta when during qualifying.
And that's where the whole friction they have with
Yes.
Russell at the moment is stemming from.
Passport.
Because these guys want to fight huko nje.
Passport. Abu Dhabi, we saw Russell obstruct. I think it was Lawson. Scot free.
Okay, one thing we can agree on consensually is the FIA have been super inconsistent this season. Have been super inconsistent. Like they've been making a lot of controversial decisions currently and in the past, in the recent past. And it's really hard to judge them in objectivity because I believe personally F1 rules are more subjective than objective. The people always try to find a loophole somewhere and try to interpret it how
it's always subjective.
how they want
That's
to.
why the passport argument is legit.
Yeah, everybody's trying to argue.
Hey, I
their
have
point of
another one. I'm sorry. Checo Hulkenberg, Australia, on the slowest corner during qualifying.
view. Yeah, that's
On the slowest corner.
that's another interesting one. That's another interesting one. But you see, when you look at things like that, that the rules are open to interpretation, you kind of get to see, and I'm not saying I agree with everything the FIA does, but you kind of get to see the difficulty of their job and try to understand where some of these decisions stem from. But yeah, again, the passport argument is valid because of that. Because some of the guys who always end up on the right side or on the right end of this stick, this FIA stick, are recurring faces. Their faces we continue seeing. There are a couple of guys who, when they go to the steward's room, wakitoka wanatokanga na some really good.
No further action. That is what you see. No further action.
There's a guy who swore once he was told to clean the streets. And,
Jump start.
Oh,
No
by
further
the,
action.
by the, do you know Max is supposed to serve that community service in Kigali?
Yeah.
Kigali, Rwanda.
Yes,
Oh,
during the
Award
prize-
ceremony.
the award ceremony.
That's why you're the start man. I did not know that.
It's interesting. Actually, I can't wait to see how
We are
it's
seeing Max
been-
Verstappen sweep the streets of Kigali,
Nah,
Rwanda.
those streets are already clean.
Yeah, they are-
He's supposed to participate in a local rally tournament.
yeah, I know he's supposed to work with some juniors.
Yes.
In Kigali.
Yeah.
In some race. I don't know which nini.
Yeah.
But hey, good for Rwanda because at least they'll get to experience Max Verstappen, and maybe he might see something and maybe help push the agenda of Formula One in Africa because we still don't have that yet.
Yeah.
And So anyway, moving on to Red Bull as a team, the championship review this season. What do you think happened? What went wrong for Red Bull? Because they're not where we expected them to be. Walimaliza number 3. They're not where we expected them to be. What do you make of it? What happened?
I think we mentioned it's about Nitangwaje reaching the peak or the maximum, whatever you can extract from that concept had reached, and then others had caught up, and somehow they were doing a better job, especially McLaren on the tires. So I think that's the biggest nini. The way McLaren were handling tire wear compared to Red Bull and the rest, hapo ndio naona the biggest difference.
Well, personally, these are controversial on kiasi. I personally think ever since Nui left, I personally believe Red Bull were on a downward spiral. Like since he left and he stopped being on active duty on the tracks, hapo kwa paddocks, the Red Bull paddocks.
Is it since he left or those Christian Horner files?
I mean, the Christian Horner files, I don't really think, because when the Christian Horner files were leaking and whatever, the whole Christian drama thing was leaking. That's way at the beginning of the season, just before the release of the RB20. This is the RB20.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just before the release of the RB20. And he was there front and center for the press, talking and saying, hey, we are going, I will stick with the team, we are going to work together. And when the season commenced, the Red Bulls were good, because Max had like 5, 6, 7 wins. And those are the wins that actually got him the championship, if we're being really honest. The opening wins are the ones which kind of got him the championship. They gave him the necessary head start required to fight off or to fend off Lando Norris. And the likes.
He disagrees.
He disagrees. I'll give him an opportunity to table his argument. But that's for me the reason why kumekuwa na issues Red Bull, because ever since the departure of Adrian Newey, and it's actually a mix of two things. And the fact that Checo is not performing as good as Max, albeit he claims the car is so difficult to drive. I mean, he should have been closer to Max. He was far off from Max. He was really far off from Max. He should have been closer to Max. And I think if he could have been closer to Max, then Red Bull stood a fighting chance in the championship.
But they have a question. Is it Haja? He drove that car is it in practice?
Isak.
And he was complaining a lot. So me, I'm wondering, like, is it, Max usually said that if anybody else is given this car, nobody can do what he does.
What was he complaining about?
I don't remember what it was, but I remember for that practice session, Checo finished ahead of him. And he was complaining a lot. I don't remember what he was complaining about. Then I remembered Max said, hey, the e-gari, the way you see it, no one else can do what
one is doing what I can do.
What I'm doing with it. So maybe there's something there. There's something about Max able to drive that car where everybody else anashindo.
Yeah.
Well, they admitted that they made a wrong turn last year at Barcelona.
Yeah.
They introduced, I think, a flaw, and it changed the dynamics of the car. Max was able to drive around it. That's why last year, again, he was still dominant despite RB19 having some flaws. And the RB20 is an evolution of the RB19. So those faults just carried over into the RB20. And then again, now we could see Max driving around those problems until he got to a point where Max was like, I can't remember which race. There was a race where he threw everyone under the bus. He was like, you're giving me a shitty car, you're giving me a shit strategy.
I think it was Hungary.
Yeah. I'm trying to salvage this situation.
You're the ones who gave me this shit strategy. I'm trying to salvage what you gave me. Yeah.
I think at that point, we realized that that car really has a problem.
Yeah.
And also, I remember there was an interview where also Max, he came to Checo's defense. He said, Checo is a really good driver, but that car has a problem.
But Max has been coming to people's defense of late, eh?
Apart from George.
Everybody's picking their sides. I don't know if you guys have noticed, like, drivers are picking sides. Like, there's a side, like, there's like a red side and a blue side. Like, people are like pro Max and against Max. There's like two kinds of drivers.
I know Alonso was on Russell's side.
Pro Max and against Max.
He said that George is a really nice guy. It's just people like...
I don't think so.
I mean,
Alonso has called Russell a snake before.
No. Hey, these guys play table tennis quadjet together. They always travel even together.
But Alonso he's made clear what he thinks about George.
Yeah.
No, in recent times.
The feud they had with Max, he was on George's side.
I'm not going to lie. Really? I really believe Alonso was on the George camp.
Yeah.
If there comes.
Maybe
there comes.
But no.
Maybe because of Mercedes.
Speaking of
Aston Martin is getting the Honda engine.
Speaking of Mercedes,
he will have zero allegiances to Mercedes.
Now, speaking of Mercedes and George and everything in between, let's discuss them for a bit. Because Mercedes were runners-up to the Constructors' Championship last year. They beat Ferrari to the title again, the last race of the season. But this year, these guys have been off the pace from the beginning of the year.
Strong before.
And to quote Lewis Hamilton, no, I'm not quoting Lewis Hamilton.
This is the worst car I've ever driven.
Back to the Max situation quickly. To quote Max Verstappen, Max said something about that car. Just put it in
Mercedes?
the museum, the RB20. Put it in the museum and nobody should ever touch it again.
What? He said that?
Yeah, he said that.
Where?
There's a quote I saw him. He was talking at what are you most looking forward to at the end of the season? He's also about to become a father. And he was like, first things, hiyo RB20 yekwe kwa museum and nobody should ever touch it again. Yekwe kwa museum, nobody should touch it again.
I think Mercedes also said something.
Though.
Something about that. Was
Mercedes have been saying the same thing for
car?
a while.
I don't think it's Mercedes. I think it's more of Hamilton. It's more of Hamilton. Hamilton has been the one who's been like, because when he drove the Senna car, you remember the Brazil tribute to Senna and everything. He was like, I will drive this car any day, man. Then he remembered he was supposed to go back to his L15 and he was like, jeez. And but
and once again, Max came to his defense. He said, when you're not that motivated, sometimes you cannot perform. Yeah. You need to be motivated. And he thinks maybe going to Ferrari is going to motivate you.
Quick one. I have a quick one. I have a curveball to throw in here. A discussion curveball. Now, we all watched the race. We all watched the Abu Dhabi race.
It was boring. I didn't watch a huge.
Listen, first things first, thank you to Max. I will thank you too to go say thank you for me.
By the Max, yeah.
Max did Ferrari a solid.
He decided to take one of the McLarens out.
He decided to do us a solid, man.
I turned left, everyone good luck.
And I was really
it wasn't enough though.
It still wasn't enough. But Ferrari did everything in their power to try and get the result home. Because what else could they have done? They got the P2, P3.
Maybe build more resilience into their engines, into their power units.
No,
No, it still
I
doesn't-
can tell you what
I'm
they should
kidding.
do. Ferrari. They should lobby for that points for the for Baku and
The flexi.
The flexi wing?
Yeah, yes.
because there was, I think, 4 points in one race and 38 points in the other one.
Yeah.
Italy, and they were back to back. Italy and Monza.
They
I mean
should-
Monza and Baku.
They should put together some foils and
Yeah,
walk.
Yeah.
Watembee pale.
Yeah, like it was an illegal car. McLaren admitted it. They said, "Hey, okay, my bad," and they were told, "Hey, don't do that again."
Even Spa, they used those to funny wins.
Yeah,
at Spa.
and
My
and,
bad.
and they were let go like that.
Yeah,
like, how do you-
scot-free.
And they came out with the most points in those races. So
Yeah.
what doesn't you do deserve the championship? You do deserve the championship by the
Getting hot
Ferrari.
in here, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, anyway, back to Mercedes. What do you think went wrong for them? Because every day it's like, I don't know if they don't understand or they didn't understand what they were doing in the car. Because every day Toto had something to say if Lewis was not performing. If George was not performing, there were no comments to be made. But anytime Lewis alikuwa like ametoka Q3 or something, or Lewis has lost the rear end of the car or something, it's always Toto coming to the press and being like, we did some mistakes in the upgrades. We did not maybe tune it properly. The car setups weren't right. Hamilton doesn't just lose a car like that. There are comments being made every time something is not going well for them in the weekend. And this makes you wonder. These are team that won 8 championships in a row. 8 championships in a row. And we got to this new ground effect era in 2022. Yeah? And from then, they've been nowhere near the picture of competitiveness. You might argue last year they were second in the championship or whatever, but that car was nowhere near what Red Bull had built for last year. The W14 wasn't anywhere as good as the RB19. And it makes you wonder what really went wrong for Mercedes.
Well, it's a case of just struggling to build a consistent car in this ground effect era. Right from 2022, they just had a car that they couldn't set up to perform in that sweet spot from track to track with different characteristics. So 2022, they didn't change anything fundamentally on the car. Remember, they had no side pods. Then next year, they decided to slap side pods on that thing at Monaco.
After Hamilton and Shakira met.
Yeah, and
The
they were
hips
like,
went-
and they were like, maybe.
Shakira came with the side pods.
Yeah.
Shakira
And
said
then-
hips don't lie. And Hamilton went and met with Shakira, and the next thing you saw was Mercedes introducing side pods. They
And
decided add hips on that car.
James Allison was the pimp.
James Allison is the one who made sure everything happened. He's the one who
Was a
made-
matchmaker. Anyway, yeah. So they made changes to that car,
Uh-huh.
and they brought in someone who decided to venture to on some other stuff, James Allison. Who to them, that's their version of Adrian Newey. So last year after the Monaco update, we're expecting Mercedes will have like a competitive 2024. But it also looks like this year they've sorted some things, but they still have problems like rear end stability. And you know, as a driver, case in point, you're talking about Hamilton. You've come from an era where you've driven the best of the best. It's been consistent. Then you're starting this new era where that first version of the car, you just don't want to see it anymore. Yeah. The second version of the car, and they've brought
was a twin brother from the first
yes,
version.
but they've brought in someone who understands this stuff. You're like, okay, this might be good. It's not good at all. Then now we're getting into the third year, and it's still the same stuff. Yes, they've sorted a few things, but still the fundamental things that Hamilton was complaining about. The rear end instability. Remember, he was also complaining about he feels like he's sitting too far. Sorry, too close to the front axle. They changed that for him, but he's still not confident in that car. And it's just evidence that they've been outpaced or outdeveloped by McLaren and Ferrari. Yeah? Because McLaren were in no man's land 2022 and mid-2023. Ferrari were in the picture, but then again, remember they had the scallop-shaped thing. They were chewing their tires. I don't know what other problems.
They're also trying to figure out their own car.
Yeah. But they were more competitive than Mercedes. So now we're in a case where Ferrari have a better car and it's consistent. McLaren definitely are they have the best car on the grid right now. And Mercedes are just stuck on P4. No man's land. Red Bull can't perform worse than them with the RB20, and Aston Martin cannot perform better than the Mercedes. So that's why they've just been consistent.
It's
I
just
think
been somewhere.
from the second race onwards until the
They
last
just know
race.
they're the weakest of the strong teams.
Yes, they are in no man's land. Before, no one has challenged them for that before.
Now,
in the constructors.
something we were discussing before we
Went
hit
on air.
record. Yeah, we went on air. Thank you, Lewis. We were talking about thank you, Lewis.
Are you feeling some type of way?
And there's some things I have to mention. And do you think Mercedes and Lewis are parting ways in bitter terms? Because I have some case files and I have some angles of approach that you and the listeners might be interested in.
Ebu, tell us.
So you guys remember Mercedes' farewell to Valtteri? What was the tagline? By tagline, I'm talking about what were they trying to sell to the public during that race weekend?
What were they?
It was, thank you, Valtteri.
Mm-hmm.
You get me?
Okay.
Now, with the Lewis farewell, what is the tagline?
What was it?
What is the tagline?
Every dream needs a team.
So what are you trying to say? Okay. I'm clasping at straws here.
I think you are reaching.
Yeah, and I'm reaching, possibly. But look at it like this. Was it so hard for them to say? Like when Schumacher was leaving Ferrari after the 7 championships. Okay, 6 because he came with 1. After the 6 championships, yeah? It was simply the best.
True.
Thank you. Yeah. Simply the best. Thank you, Mike. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Schumacher. That's his farewell tone. You get it? The
So
Mercedes
basically,
tone,
the tagline has the name of the driver.
yeah. And that's not what I'm driving at here. But with the Mercedes one, it felt more like we were a great team. It's not about Lewis goodbye or something. It's thank you, Lewis. Yes, we get it. But we were a great team. Like they are making sure everybody understands Mercedes had a good car. That's why Lewis was also winning. Does that make sense?
I see where you're coming from. It's not personalized.
It's not personalized, exactly. Yeah, the video was great and all. I get it. But why can't we? Because listen, we are talking about Lewis Hamilton. We're not talking about Nico Rosberg. And no disrespect to Nico Rosberg. We're talking about a guy who's been with you guys for something close to 10 years now. It's actually 10 years because
Yeah.
for 20... Yeah. He's been with you guys for 10 years. He's consistently kept you at the top. He is basically Mr. Mercedes at this point. Like everybody who sees Hamilton associates him with Mercedes. He's basically Mr. Mercedes. He's the guy who's the most followed man on the grid. The guy with the most PR on that grid. He's the one who's given Mercedes this PR image. Like, if you think about Mercedes, the image that was molded by Mercedes, the picture that is out to the world, it's a Lewis Hamilton picture. Like, they are known as a good PR team, and they might want to take credit for that, but majority of that credit is because Lewis Hamilton is who he is. He carries himself the way he carries himself. And I'm speaking as a non-biased, non-Lewis Hamilton fan, because I'm not a Lewis Hamilton fan. You get me? But when you think Mercedes, when you think the standards of excellence that they've set, you only think Hamilton. Yes, Toto might be good, but Toto is no.
So what do you think it wasn't an appreciation?
They could
enough?
have done more.
Put his name somewhere in the slogan.
They could have done more for Lewis.
Well, you can. I agree. They would have personalized it, because if I compare with the other farewells, then this one seems less personalized. But what I actually like about the every dream needs a team, it's more than just what Hamilton accomplished with them. They're taking that timeline beyond 2014. I think there's a clip or something Hamilton saying that he wants to drive for Mercedes, or maybe there's something about Hamilton always wanting to drive for Mercedes ever since he was a kid or something.
He has always been driving engine-powered cars.
Yeah,
I mean, Mercedes.
Yeah. So Hamilton already had that dream, not just to be in motorsport, but to compete in Formula One and to win championships. Yeah. And yes, Ron Dennis brought him in under McLaren.
A man of his word, because I think they had talked when he was still younger. Man of his word.
Yeah. But Mercedes has always been present for Hamilton. And if you look at the other things that Hamilton has been championing for, Mercedes have been,
backing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the dream, it's not just winning championships, but being an inspiration to kids.
Yeah.
Talking about some of this global
And people of color and inclusivity.
Yeah. And Mercedes have been really behind his backers and supporting him. So
Okay.
I think
That-
I'm looking at it that way.
That's a really, really good POV. And I don't disagree with it. But when Seb was leaving the sport, what was the tagline? Thank you, Seb. Like the day was about Seb. Like the final day, everybody knew it was just about Seb.
But was it Aston Martin who told him, thank you, Seb?
Wait,
It was actually the whole sport.
was there like something for Hamilton other than the donuts in Abu Dhabi?
Okay. I'm not being rude, but did you see it?
I was
He
busy.
did donuts.
No. Did you see anything special about Hamilton from that event?
No, but the reason why I'm asking is because I saw there was a plan in case Hamilton doesn't make it to the podium to have like his own podium for celebration. I don't know whether it happened or not.
But again, he wasn't leaving the sport. He's
okay.
leaving Mercedes. He's
Listen,
going to another team.
How many times do we see this?
I know.
No, how many times do we see? Listen, even when Seb left,
Even the donuts, I think that was just over the top. Because he was not leaving the sport.
Bana, kuna cha over the top.
Abu Dhabi, hata Joe alifanya donuts.
Yes,
Abu Dhabi,
because Joe
do
is
donuts.
not getting a seat next year. And those and Joe's donut, it was not like expected. He just said fuck it. Next year I'm not on the grid.
he even didn't do it on the
Yeah, he did it somewhere huko nyuma. This Ferrari power unit is not going to be used. So
Nah, but
maybe I hope it breaks. They come and tow it from here.
Hamilton is not leaving the sport.
nah, but still, like whatever they've achieved together,
Yes.
they should have done more. Am I the only one who's fit? I'm not even his fan. Listen, people, I'm not a Lewis Hamilton fan.
But here's the thing.
listen,
Here's the thing.
I might look up to him in some ways, but I am not his fan, and I'm feeling some type of way
Here's the
because
thing.
I feel they should have
So
done more.
wait. Is it about Mercedes or Formula One?
Mercedes.
Oh, Mercedes.
I'm not talking about Formula One and anything. This is not Formula One's responsibility to come here and say, oh, thank you, Hamilton, for winning 7 championships, Mercedes. No, that will show their biases. This is about Mercedes coming out and saying clearly, listen, some of the things we achieved, we couldn't have achieved them without you, which is also a fact.
They've as in go to YouTube, go to the social media. They've released content about this. Now, do you remember we had a similar conversation when Ricardo was let go by Racing Bulls?
Yeah.
Then a few days later, what do we discover?
What?
Ricardo said he didn't want anything like in the public. He wanted something intimate with the team, and the team respected his wishes.
So are you trying to say maybe there's a similar situation with
Just
so
let it-
niache kuwaingililia?
Yes, just let it brew for a few days.
Kuna.
But again, as you're saying, he's not leaving the sport.
Ndio ujue pia I have some issues. Listen.
Amphosis is the Timelech is infectious.
No,
He already
no,
on
no,
his
no,
head.
No, I'm coming to
You see
this.
today it's black and red.
One leg in the couch. Look at you bashing Mercedes.
Cult member.
You're already bashing Mercedes.
Listen, I go above. I'm like Christian. I go above and beyond for my own. Like I go above and beyond for my own. This is loyalty at its finest. So all I'm saying is they could have done more. Unaona venye George Russell kwa press conference yake after fighting with Max huko behind the closed doors, the way Toto was with him over there like a proud parent, ready to answer, ready to pounce on anybody who was going to attack him. I didn't see that same of camaraderie.
Wait, do you really think
Hamilton.
Toto was standing there behind supporting George?
He was there supporting George, waiting to answer questions. He was there. Hey, huyu ameuliza swali gani? Is swali ujinga? Like, you get my point.
Really?
Bro, all I'm saying is
He's supporting George against Max. And if Max just sent him an email saying, wait, I'm interested in that 2026 seat.
By the way, Max, somebody said in the group that Max should now call Toto.
Yeah, to stick it up to George properly.
I want to come to Mercedes.
I'm taking your seat.
that would be a serious weird turn of events. I'm not going to that would be a weird turn of events. That would be something else.
It's like firing a driver, one driver firing another driver.
Yeah.
Again, reaching into my whole Hamilton situation. Did you see how he dressed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
I'm not keen on those things, man.
I know
with Hamilton, we know.
By the way, let me tell you, with Hamilton, when it comes to image,
Yeah.
it's something he sits down,
Yeah.
and thinks about it.
And thinks about what I'm wearing.
It's not like ati nimeamka nikapata t-shirt nikavaa no.
Like Max.
No.
Max usually turns up with a Red Bull, whatever, polo and pants. But I think the last 3 races after he won the championship, he was like, screw it.
Yeah.
I don't need to wear. I can wear.
Yeah.
But you saw how Hamilton dressed, and I think Mr. Editor utaiweka hapo on Friday. This is what he had worn. Saturday
and Sunday.
So on Friday,
Going red.
he was all
Slowly.
white. He was all white. He was dressed in all white, all like bright colors, like the white Mercedes colors. On Saturday, he had a mix of red and white, like it's like a transition. You get me? Then on Sunday, it was full red from head to toe, and I'm telling you, that is not a coincidence.
Maybe that's the reason why
That is not a
someone
coincidence.
decided to delete the thank you Hamilton.
Because, you know,
we are here trying to thank this guy and he's wearing red.
because even after the race, Hamilton, I don't think
Remove the word
I
Hamilton
don't-
from this. This guy can't be sending thank you messages and he's in red.
I don't think
Delete
he
empty
spent
recycle
as much time with the Mercedes guys as he spent with the Ferrari guys, because after the race hapo kwa Park Farme and whatever alikuwa tu pale na the Ferrari engineers and the guys hapo talking, laughing, and they were doing
but Mercedes, there's no way Mercedes would be the mechanics would be there.
bro unarusha tu something ya kuwatetea.
No, but I'm speaking facts.
Okay.
As in after the race, the top 3, the people who the cars or the drivers who finished on the podium, their mechanics are usually there, and even their teams.
Okay,
We had 2 Ferraris and 1 McLaren. Where do you want Mercedes to? And you saw where Hamilton stopped his car.
you know,
Uko on that side of the
I'm actually
track.
putting myself in your shoes and seeing how you're hearing my argument, and it looks like I have a problem. I have a problem.
One leg is in the cart.
I can feel it now. Kwanza ni amfosi bana. Hey,
Membership has already been approved.
I can't wait for the Civ. Oh, that is
Hey,
coming.
bruh.
bana,
Next time will be a
yesterday I was
delicious
asking questions. The fun comes, and I was asking guys, now the Hamfosi team, because we had a few takes with the Hamfosi people. Will be uploaded shortly. I had a few takes with them, and I was asking them now, with Hamilton coming to Ferrari next year, who do you think is leading the other driver at the end of the season? Who do you think will be outperforming the other driver? Because that's a question that has to be asked, because people forget Charles Leclerc hasn't been outperformed by a team.
Yeah, Charles.
And he had Vettel as his teammate at one point.
That's Charles's team.
I know. Mr. Ferrari. Mr. Mercedes is joining Mr. Ferrari now, because when Hamilton is Mr. Mercedes, Charles is Mr. Ferrari. Like, this is the kid Ferrari handpicked.
Yep.
Il predestinato. Hiyo jina ikukuja out of the blue.
Say it all.
Il predestinato. The destined one. Ule ndio Fratelli, hata in fact Italy, if they are to change their flag, waneka, you know, see in Kenya we have that coat
Coat of arms or whatever they call it.
Italy, Charles. If it's not a Ferrari logo, ni Charles.
The chosen one.
The chosen one, the destined one. You get it? He's Mr. Ferrari, and even Carlos knew.
So wait. So from what the fans were saying, which surprised me, is that even Ferrari fans, one of the Ferrari fan, thought that it's like Lewis will be ahead of Charles.
Weak.
Nini.
It's a weak fan.
I expected that from a Mercedes fan or a Hamilton fan,
Revoke-
but not a Ferrari
that
fan.
membership. Revoke that
Yeah,
membership.
and I was asking some Ferrari fans, who's your favorite driver, ma? Who are you rooting for? I will be rooting for Hamilton all through any time, the GOAT. And I'm like,
Yeah, even me, I was surprised. Like, hey, what's happening?
okay. Because personally, I'm with Charles. Like, listen, Vettel was my favorite driver, but he left, and I've been sticking through with Charles from that time.
Yeah.
And Charles has really impressed me in some of the drives he's had. Like, he's the one guy. I've also been talking here, like, kwa hiyo grid, Max Verstappen, the only person who can deal with him is Charles.
Yeah, Charles.
Saying
Properly.
that's the only man you can see him on a deal. But we also had glimpses of Leclerc and Hamilton fighting kwa track. Was it Qatar? They had like a small, some really good racing going on. And people are like, a sign of things to come. It was clean racing. It wasn't the aggressive Max kind. No offense to Max.
It's
But it wasn't the aggressive kind and I'm pushing you off track or something like that. It was just something like respectable. And I was like, two top drivers. Na hiyo performance yao ya Abu Dhabi, you know. Question. Did George let Hamilton pass?
That's Nini.
Question for you guys, even the listeners. Did George let Hamilton pass?
Me, I think,
blimey, I'm about to be exposed.
me, I think he did. That's not Russell. When I saw that overtake, I didn't even need to see the replay. I knew exactly what was going on. Knowing Russell the way he is, he's not the kind of person to it was that turn and he went around the outside. Like,
a long left-hander.
Yeah, like who overtakes? Okay, I think Gasly did. I think Gasly did, but it's not like a common overtaking. Most people overtake before the corner, not at that corner.
So you're saying...
So seeing that, I'm like,
On the last lap. On the last lap.
Yeah. This looks choreographed. They practiced somewhere.
You're saying that and he was like, pull the reaction again.
Which one?
Yeah,
it looked choreographed. I can see it from afar.
God damn it. Anyway, away from the Mercedes, I don't think there's much to talk about.
Wait, but I have a question.
Yeah.
For Ferrari or you as a Ferrari fan.
Yeah.
We have been seeing Hamilton with, let's say, his effects in the design or in the livery of the...
I don't know. I don't know if we've been seeing it.
In Mercedes?
I don't know.
The black
Please
Mercedes.
elaborate.
Black, yeah.
Are you saying the black was because of Hamilton?
The Mercedes got that livery in because of that time of Black Lives Matter. That George Floyd thing.
Because of George. I mean, because of Hamilton being also super active.
Yes. And because of that, they embraced the black for a couple of seasons. But we saw this season, the black is fading away.
I don't.
Let me finish. It's fading away, pole. Even the special suit they had, one race Nini, was all white except some black here.
You are
black
reaching.
here.
It was white because you are reaching.
Cut his mic. Cut his mic. Bro, you'll make us get cancelled, bana.
Let me ask now my question.
Will
they give Hamilton even maybe a stripe of black in that Ferrari?
Well, he has the floor.
This is interesting. No, this is interesting because last year the Ferrari colors were red and black. Like there was a black on the cooling louvers. Yeah, everything was blackish. Red and black was the theme. This year were brighter red colors and some yellow and some white.
And that ugly HP.
So I'm trying to imagine.
God damn it,
I'm trying to imagine. Listen, I'm trying to imagine if Hamilton was there last year and we had that black. And he left, and this year we came with the whites and the yellows. This is the same type of reaching you'll
argument. It was that because of Hamilton. Not that because that he. Not that because that he saving weight or anything on design. No.
That's how I saw it.
This is next level reaching. Unajua ile premium. He has unlocked a new level of reaching.
If Hamilton was driving at Alpine,
the black.
It's because of Hamilton.
The black.
It's not because they're underpowered and they're trying to save weight. That's Hamilton.
Influence. So who's Team Tifosi? Who's Team LH? Who's the Team LH? Who's the cult member?
Hey, listen. Me, I'm just saying what I saw.
It's all good.
That's what I saw. That's what I'm saying.
It's the final episode of the year.
Let's wait. We see what the Mercedes colors will be.
You're saying so
for Mercedes?
Question. So you expect a total white outfit next year for Mercedes?
No, I expect Mercedes to go back to the silver arrows.
And the kit white.
The
race
mostly to match with the team, with the car. Yeah, the silver.
It's always white. The race suits that they have. I know Adidas are now next year. Adidas are making the race suits. So you expect white race suits.
Is Adidas making the race suits or the race suits?
The race suits.
No, they are a partner, but they're not making the race suits.
No, see, unaonaka with Ferrari, the race suit, the red one, inakuwa built by Puma.
Really?
Yeah. Like ukiangalia hadi inakuwa na the logos za Puma hapo, even the shoes wanapewa za Puma.
Okay, shoes I can believe.
Yeah, but the Puma is there as a sponsor.
Yeah, and as a sponsor,
they're a kit sponsor.
Yeah,
they don't. I don't think they make as in the official.
Okay, I could be wrong.
Because they usually see there's an FIA thingy huku nyuma.
But hiyo ni sasa ni ile imepitia test za FIA.
Yes. I don't know.
But listen,
again, there's some intellectual property there. You just can't.
All I can say is
sponsors and
hiyo suit ukiangalia like the Ferrari, I'll speak for my team. Sijui team zingine. But for my team, hapo kwa belt line kuna the Puma logo. Najua hizo race suits ziuzwa na Puma. Una get? I know you have proven.
But it's not the actual race suit.
Okay, let me finish. But
Could be a replica or something.
hiyo kwa mgongo najua inakonga specifically kwa hiyo race suit because lazima FIA ipitishe hizo race suit some tests because unajua lazima have fireproofs inside before the race suit. So hizo race suits they have to be able to withstand some form of to protect the driver and all that. But I do know okay tunaweza sema maybe design is coming from Puma. Ama Puma are building the race suits in collaboration like labda FIA wameambiwa these are the measurements and whatever. Maybe
they're just as a kit sponsor.
Na vitu kaa sasa hizi. You see now like the t-shirt you're wearing now. Castor. Now Castor are the ones who have made this.
Yes. But I don't think they're the ones who made, for example, like the Red Bull. The driver race suit.
Okay, listen. Hii tutaenda hapo kando tujue ni aje. But I believe sana inakwanga Puma.
It's all good.
Anyway, tumetake a lot of limelight from the likes of Aston Martin and Alpine. But Aston there's really nothing much to talk about.
We can do a special shout out to Alpine and Gasly.
Yeah, Alpine really Gasly kuenda bila damages. Sasa hiyo kuna another team we will discuss huko mbele about the damages they've incurred this season.
But for Alpine, so what I wanted to say is that especially for Gasly, not only the double podium they had.
When was this? Brazil.
Where was it?
No, not Brazil. Where was this? Their double podium.
Was it not? Inaweza kuwa ilikuwa Brazil ama?
Brazil si Max won.
The double podium was 2 and 3 for Alpine.
Yeah, I know. It's Brazil.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at something else. Gasly.
Okay, as he's checking. So Gasly qualifying has been getting into Q3 in these last few races and also finishing in the points.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what...
He came into the team and ran off the owner of the team.
Who? Ocon.
Esteban Ocon was the one mwenye hiyo team bana. That was Ocon's team. Gasly came in and established authority and he's now the one who's... But I think he's going to a better team. I don't know. Subjective.
Ocon. Okay, so the you know, when Alpine started, they were like in shambles.
Yeah.
Like...
the car was overweight. You call the car overweight, yeah?
Overweight and they were around 30 horsepower.
Yeah,
down.
they were underpowered.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the season, they said that they are no longer going to be making engines.
Yeah.
So,
which is a
expectation was that the poor performance will continue, but somehow they managed to turn it around.
That had a double podium.
One thing for sure, that double podium is the race that actually pipped them above Haas in the Constructors' Championship.
Okay. During these races after the double podium, like when you're looking at current constructor standings as the race is going on, there were multiple times Haas and Alpine were switching positions. Because Hülkenberg has been doing a really good job.
Facts.
Try to Nini. But somehow Gasly came out on top. And I like special shout out to Alpine and the team, especially how they started the season and how they ended it. How they ended the season.
After the double podium at Brazil, they jumped from P9 to P6.
No, P9 to P6. I mean, that was really, really impressive. Like the double podium, like that saved the bank. That like literally, because you know the prize money is also dependent on where you finish on the grid. Like
at some point, I was even wondering, hey, Quinn, have they finally figured out something, as in their power unit? That 30 horsepower, have they found it somewhere? Because if you're underpowered and you're overweight, remember they were overweight because I think their chassis failed the crash test. So they had to add like, I don't know, a few things.
Yeah.
So they had a really bad start of the
season.
They had to
bulk it up.
P9 was their thing. Yeah. Q3.
By P9 we're talking constructors.
Yeah.
Kwa race ilikuwa pale number P18.
Yeah, P18. Q1 you just know. Ocon and Gasly are going to some 2 slots. Then with Joe, you just know that is guaranteed.
Ocon, Gasly, Joe, na Bottas. That was a crew.
As in, we knew 4 people who are going to get knocked out.
It was a clique. I'm sure when they started getting into Q2, guys were like,
Kwanza, the Alpines, yeah, because there was a time we could see Ocon with some brilliant, as in qualifying and races. We could see he's peeping above top 10 sometimes.
The middle part of the season, there's a time he was in my F1 fantasy. He was in my F1 fantasy because of that. He's cheap and he's also...
They managed to turn things around after they brought in a new TP. Remember they
Yeah.
they let go of.
Otmar.
There should be some consequences. There was that interim
no.
guy.
What's his name? The one who told Ocon there will be
Joseph
consequences
Joseph,
after
yes.
Monaco.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's French, by the way.
Yes. So they let him go. Then they brought a guy called, I think, Olive Oaks or something.
Yeah.
I think that's his name. And they also brought in the guy who was banned from Formula One, the one who was involved
The
in,
mafia-
in the Renault scandal.
Briatore, Flavio.
Yes, Flavio. Yeah, he was brought back.
Looks like a mafia in the.
Man, a lot. Just think about
But
it.
Alpine have changed a lot because after
been a
those
crazy year.
recruitments,
Yeah.
after the recruitments you're now mentioning, that's also when we had the news that they're not going to continue with
the Alpine
supplying
engines,
engines. The Renault engines.
Yeah.
They're going to now be a
Mercedes.
customer team.
Yeah.
Now they'll be getting them from Mercedes moving forward. And
Their
big
workers,
changes.
their workers are on strike.
Yeah.
Man, Alpine have had a rough year.
Yeah.
some
Seeing
big
them
changes.
finish as in P6, the
They
championship.
salvaged their season.
Yeah.
They definitely salvaged their season. Now,
Big up to them.
the team they finished above was also had a special season in a way, and the team is Haas.
Yep.
Now Haas early in the season had to let go of controversial. I'm not controversial.
Was it
Gunther.
the end of after the last season?
Amani famous. Let me call him famous.
He's famous.
They had to
The,
let
the
go
TV star.
of their
Oh,
famous.
the Drive to Survive star.
Yeah.
They had to let go of their famous
being very specific.
team principal. And the guy we're talking about is none other than Gunther Steiner. Now, exactly. Do not slam my door. Exactly. Now, when these girls let go, they brought in a technical guy, a guy who's a master of his craft, a Japanese by the name of Iyo Komatsu.
Yeah.
Now, Iyo, we could argue seemingly transform this team overnight.
Facts.
Because there is a hint that after Iyo came in, Gunther was always complaining, saying, oh, the same thing Max
Has.
was saying. Nobody can drive this car the way I'm doing it. Gunther also had some sentiments on the same lines. Nobody can run this team like me. I'm trying my best, going to find sponsors. I brought the oil oligarchs and everything. He's been trying to run this team as his own. But since Iyo took over, performances took an upturn almost immediately. And guys were they weren't sure on Iyo, but he got the performances. And not only did he get the performances, he also got them a very, very, very big sponsorship. Somewhere around the summer break, kulikuwa na news that Toyota are coming back into the sport under Haas. And you can't fail, you can't not see the correlation between Toyota coming into the sport and the team principal being Japanese and everything. The working relationship has already been established. And you look at Haas as a team and where we expect them to be, considering where they've been the past 3 years. A P7 finish in the Constructors' Championship, that's really impressive from the guy who just took over mid-season. That's really impressive. And you just have to give the flowers.
Eyo Komatsu didn't take over mid-season.
Okay, early in the season.
This season started when he was the TP.
But doesn't the season start January 1st?
Yes, and Gunther was let go, I think, December last year.
Was it December?
It was February this year.
But I know it was off-season. It was off-season.
Yeah, we already had rumors December.
was
that Gunther
off-season.
was being let go.
Yeah.
Off-season.
But it was this year. It happened this year.
He was, remember he was complaining that he was never given an opportunity to say goodbye to people.
Yeah.
It already
I remember
happened
that.
last year. Yeah.
So unasema new celebrate this year, but Rao alikuwa
He was already axed.
He was already gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's Haas. What about Red Bull? What do you think about Racing Bulls? VCAB, what do we even call them?
Racing Bulls. So Racing Bulls, I remember after the rebranding, they said that now we want to get closer to our.
So what's the official team name?
It's just called RB. Now it's up to you. Is it called Racing Bulls? Is it Red Bull? Is it Red Bull? Is it Racing Bull? Is it as in whatever?
Yeah.
But anyway,
They should have stuck to Alpha Tauri. That was a good name. It's Italian.
Hey, the sponsorship. The money is the.
yeah. Alpha Tauri decided to become Formula One sponsors and not Alpha Tauri sponsors. So I think maybe that was one of the reasons why.
Waliomoka.
Yeah, but they started this year with this Katipi of theirs. Is it called Laurent Mikis or something?
Yeah, it was from Ferrari.
Yeah, he started last year.
Yeah, he started last year, mid last year. He around up Spa last year Spa.
Yeah. So this
So
has
that's
been,
when they let go of Whoever was there.
Franz Tost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been his first full season as a TP at Racing Bulls.
No.
And his intention was to take Racing Bulls closer to Red Bull. So some of the design cues, I think the suspension, they're now also getting that from Red Bull. So early this year, they unleashed a car that we were like, that is the RB19. Clothed differently in some chrome blue and some white somewhere.
Pink Mercedes vibes.
Yeah. They still had a driver problem. So Ricardo was still unsure. Yes, he's back, but he's not the Daniel Ricciardo. I'm sorry. I'm taking digs at Ricardo. But it was not the Daniel Ricciardo that
it's
expected.
the new regulations. Ata Hamilton
Yeah,
has suffered
struggling.
in those new regulations. Yeah.
So with this new car, they are closer to Red Bull. Rumors is the RB19. They have Daniel Ricciardo, who's a multiple race winner. From the jump, I was expecting Racing Bulls to be like challenging Aston at that comfortable P5. Yes. Yuki was also consistent. I think this has been Yuki's best year.
Yeah.
With Ricardo and also Lawson in the picture, plus all the drama around Red Bull.
He has out-qualified Lawson 6-0.
Ooh, clean. Yeah. But for Racing Bulls, I think again.
Do you know who'd love to hear that?
Oh, Ricardo.
Think again. Who has Lawson been brushing shoulders with?
Checo.
Exactly. Checo would love to hear that piece of information.
Serves you right, Holmes. Yeah. So they have just been not competitive enough with the car, unfortunately. Yeah. And also Ricardo just spiraling down. He hasn't been that consistent, beating Yuki and also trying to bring the points home. So we've seen Haas outperforming Racing Bulls, and that's why they've just been going down. We've seen some shades of brilliance or competitiveness from Williams. So maybe they also took some points away from Racing Bulls. But most importantly for me, what really stands out is Yuki had he was really unlucky this year. Yes, it's been his best year, but he's been unlucky in I don't know how many races. There was a time he had like a string of DNFs or something. And remember even last year he was just almost getting into Q3. Also in the races, he was just about to get into the point scoring positions.
Finishing P11.
Yeah, P11 consistently. I think it's just been a case of consistency, having the car, and Yuki having bad luck. Otherwise, I think they performed
Okay.
Okay.
Relatively okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you? Now moving on from Racing Bulls, we have that team by James Vowles. Williams.
Yeah.
I know you have a few words to say about Williams.
As a team.
The season review.
So me personally, I might not know about the development, how exactly like the speed or what needs to happen to start seeing results. I had high hopes, especially when James came there.
Yeah.
And but I can't see much difference. Like the Williams, even Lando was saying that he's glad that Carlos won't be in a fast car. So there's no signs of hope from Williams. That's how I see it. But maybe in terms of drivers, that's what I'm interested to see how everything will turn out.
On that point, on Williams being hopeless, I can put it that way. I'll still throw this question to you, sir. Mr. Carlos Sainz. You know, now we are seeing Bottas. I know we haven't reached at Kick Sauber.
One team left to go. Huh?
Yeah, but now we've seen Bottas say, I think I made a mistake.
Yeah. If you were to go back, you would have made a different decision. Yeah.
Do you think Carlos will also be saying the same things?
I don't think first things first, Carlos signed for Williams because that's the team of his choice. It was the only contract on the table.
I don't think it was the only.
Let me get where I'm getting.
Okay.
The reason I'm saying that is because Mercedes were still unsure. They were like, we don't know. We are sticking with Kimi, this and that.
They wanted Max Mercedes.
The Red Bull situation was just a mess. They don't know if they're going with Checo. They don't know if they're taking their junior driver. It was just messy. Now, the other only top team left there wasn't any other top team left. You get me? Because once you take Red Bull out of the equation, you take Mercedes out of the equation, he's leaving Ferrari. McLaren,
Martin,
he can't get to McLaren.
Mm.
Aston Martin is
Locked.
all but locked. All but locked. We are not really sure on Aston Martin. And he wants a seat for next year. He had to go to the guys who are constantly pursuing him. You get me? And it's been revealed that James was constantly pursuing Carlos, and he was constantly on his ear telling him, "Look, we have a good project. We are going somewhere, and this and that." And I know it's not a project that was particularly appealing to Carlos because one of the things I know about Carlos is he definitely wanted to win a championship somewhere. And we saw how they drove during the last race, Abu Dhabi. They were trying to get that championship. And they, according to me, they deserve the championship. But again, kudos to McLaren. So it was that team that that's the only offer that was on the table. Excuse my stuttering. That was the only offer on the table at that point in time. And that's the only offer that he was guaranteed he's going to get a seat for next year. Now, what they can do with that situation, that whole situation, because now we know names like Olapinto have now been revolved around and everything going on. I'm seeing leaks. These are just rumors by there. I'm peddling rumors, but I can see some truth in them. Now, Mercedes, who's going to be the second driver next season? Kimi Antonelli.
That's
now,
confirmed.
We know Mercedes and Williams have a good working relationship. Yeah? And there is some noise regarding the whole driver lineup. And it said that Toto feels like he needs to swap Kimi and
Carlos.
And we know Kimi is what Charles was to Ferrari, but to Mercedes. We know Kimi is the project child of Mercedes. He's the guy they want to mold and everything. So we are quite unsure of that yet.
I think we already have some hints sorry, on that not happening. Williams have a new sponsor.
Yeah. Santander,
Yeah.
the Spanish bank, knowing that Carlos is Spanish. I think, yeah. But all I see in this is I don't really think Carlos made a mistake.
He did. And I'm going to ask you another question. Maybe.
Wait, so, like, the hopelessness that you see in Williams, Abu expound more. Because I also have same view.
I don't see them, with Carlos on board, I don't see them turning this team around. I don't see them even being a mid team next
Are you judging them based on their performances this season?
Yes.
Okay.
And their struggles outside the track.
Playing devil's advocate, I think Williams this season have been undone with the amount of crashes they've had.
Yes.
The amount of damages they've incurred in costs and in damage of the machinery again, and knowing the logistics and how complex these things are. I think Williams were in a situation whereby they just had to get rid of the drivers that were causing them problems, and we saw them get rid of Logan Sargent.
But the crashes didn't go down.
But the crashes didn't go down, yes.
So it might not be a driver problem.
Are you alluding to the fact that maybe the car has an issue whereby it's magnetic to the walls or something?
No, it's beyond. When I say beyond the track, I'm referring to like finances, the structure. And when I say Williams are not going to turn things around like next year or in 1 year's time, it's because Vowels last year said things are not good at Williams. People are tracking things using Excel spreadsheets.
But that was last year.
Wait. Now, it takes time, even if you have the money, it takes time for that money to be converted into tangible things.
Like a race win or a podium.
Resources in the company. Vowel still needs to hire like the right people. And to hire the right people, you need to already have like a history of, as in your trajectory is going up for you to attract talent.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You would want people to want to come.
Yes.
Not to those who don't have options.
Do you think
to go.
Williams are going to attract people right now?
I mean, again, with Carlos now
It's
joining,
a snowball effect. You start performing, as in you start doing good with the resources that you have. There's an upward trajectory. You start attracting people. You start attracting sponsors. Then with that money, you now start investing in like wind tunnels, better factories, better equipment, better software to do logistics, etc. You now have better drivers. Look at Aston Martin.
and I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying. We're just saying, I think I'm cutting them some slack personally on my end. I'm cutting them a lot of slack because, listen, they're going to get a new driver. one they can rely on at least. Based on Carlos's stint at Ferrari and what I saw him do at McLaren, he was a reliable driver, somebody you can rely on. So one thing is they're going to minimize some of the driver errors they've been having all through the season. That's one thing. They have a driver who knows how to compete at the top level. And I know all drivers know how to compete at the top level, but this is a person who's been challenging for wins, gotten wins, and this and that and this and that. And who has also seen a troublesome team try to reinvent itself.
Okay, so now my question is, if Carlos didn't have a contract today, if he didn't sign for Williams today, will he sign for Williams?
I don't think
That
so.
is that was the best option he had.
Remember there was a time I said he signed too early.
Yeah, he did. There is a hint of he signed too early. He could have waited it out a bit
But,
longer.
but you see some of these things, it's somebody might tell you, like, we need to, by this time, we need to know where we are going and who we are going with.
True.
So I need you to give me an answer by next week.
But, there are also two sides to that story about him signing too early, because there is also a point of view where he signed too late. Because a lot of things were dragging on. Remember, the last domino to fall so that all the other things can fall in place was the Carlos Sainz signature.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
Yeah,
that was the domino that was expected to fall so that we know where everybody else is going.
Okay.
Because Carlos was the wild card on that grid.
But you can't tell me that other teams were like, yo, Carlos, Ebu signed that thing. We also want to chase some other drivers.
Okay, let me put it into perspective how it was. At that time, there was rumors everywhere. Max was talking with Toto. Sijui, there was people trying.
Alonso to Mercedes.
They were just talks. But as soon
Alonso
as
to Red Bull.
but as soon as Carlos signed to Williams,
Everything started falling into place.
those talks stopped.
Personally, I think he signed too early. Because right now, right now, he's a better prospect to Red Bull. Because Red Bull there's a question about that second seat that it's not really, as in, it's not an easy
As a Red Bull supporter, with all the names being thrown around and Sainz being in the same pond, will you have gone with Sainz as a no-brainer, or will you have scratched your head?
Right now, I'll take Signs.
No-brainer even.
And this is my reason.
Now, I'm asking as a no-brainer, will you scratch your head?
No, as in I won't even think about it.
You won't even think about it?
Because
What are the options you have?
This year is a testament that you just can't win the Constructors' Championship with one driver.
Yeah.
Last year we saw Max do that.
Yeah, but
This year,
that car was...
Yes, but this year, bro, you need both drivers and you need consistency.
Yeah.
Next year it will be the same thing. McLaren already have Norris and Piastri. Ferrari have Charles and Hamilton.
Ooh.
Where is Red Bull in that picture? Max and who?
It's there was a time I was sitting down and thinking second driver. For me, if no driver was tied to anywhere, it would have been Russell and Max. But we know Russell is tied somewhere. I don't even have an answer. It's not Checo, it's not Colampito. I'm not sure about Yuki. And Lawson even is not yet tested. The only person on paper who would say deserves that is Yuki. But now we see Red Bull, the way they talk about Yuki, it's they're adamant. It's they're not saying something. They're not saying they can't. Yuki, is he performing well? Yes, he's performing well. Why can't you take him? There's no clear answer.
Yeah.
So we don't know what is happening there.
Next year I'm already writing Red Bull off from that Constructors fight.
Now, as we kick the bucket, as the
Kick the bucket. Wait. I'm alive and kicking.
Kick. Let's talk about Kick Sauber.
Kick Sauber. Where's the to-do? I can't
The
find
blue
it.
one.
Is this
The blue one. Bluish,
It's
yes.
this.
Kick Sauber. It took too long.
Bruh, they finally have points. Don't kick them when they're down, man.
And the
Kick
driver of
Sauber
the day
Dinos.
on that, was it Qatar? Which race was it?
Last, Qatar. They had Joe with the driver of the day.
Yeah.
Magnificent drive.
And he was so happy.
4 points and all Zoe points. Precious. Bottas has no points with Kick Sauber this season. Damn it, Bottas.
He made a mistake.
Damn it, Bottas.
He said he made a mistake.
God damn it. God damn it. So anyway, anything to talk about Kick, because we know they're going to rebrand soon enough into Audi Motorsports.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be a works team from 2026 onwards.
With the Audi are coming with the engine.
Yes, I think sijui siko sure, but I think wanakuja kawa works team from 2026 onwards. See, they've already finished buying the stakes they wanted to buy into the team. But a lot of uncertainty there because there's still appointments going on.
But you've always been a Binotto fan. You don't trust in Binotto.
The issue isn't Binotto. The issue is, do they have everything in order?
That's what you were
Because-
saying when he was in Ferrari.
Yeah, but Binotto is more technical.
He has never been there. Okay.
Binotto is really good on the technical side of things. It's also a structural play, has to be in place, a really good structural play whereby venye ulikuwa unasema the story ya Williams, a lot of things are in play, that the logistics, the whatever, so that they can pre-plan early enough. Now you get me. Now if they're not a well-oiled machine from the word go, which they're not, and the reason I'm saying they're not is because kumekuwa na appointments and releases in between a season whereby they haven't even started. Hawajaanza washa appoint say they have already released him. So those are clear signs of this not being a well-oiled machine. And
is a scammer.
We've already seen what's been happening at Kick Sauber this season. Like I don't even think they were trying to fix that car, but this is a car. Kuna mtu Twitter alisema, there's somebody on X who said, this is a car even Senna himself wouldn't get points with during the Senna tribute, and I thought it was so out of pocket, but there is some truth to it. This is a car, bwana. So wait, so does that mean Zoe is better than Senna? Question mark. But yeah, you get the point.
Yeah.
Like these guys were just nowhere. I remember we were getting to round 20 of the season and these guys hadn't even scored a point. And we were like, these guys haven't gotten a point. And yeah, basically I really have nothing much to say about Kick.
Considering that there are penalties, there are DNFs, like 20 races without a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Ever since I started watching Formula 1, I knew Haas were bottom of the barrel, and I'm sorry for but Kick Sauber has
They've exceeded your expectation.
They've outdone themselves.
This one, this is.
They've moved the beacon.
I'll just blame delivery. That's it.
It's an
but the
ugly one,
delivery
by
wasn't
the way.
even doing it.
Like
Wasn't doing
black
them
and
any
green,
favors.
bana, surely.
Keep it simple.
But Kick, again, at the end of the day, never forget the sponsorships are the ones who were doing the talking. So Kick walikuja wakasema, listen, we want green here, black, green.
But with that money, what have they done
What
with
is
that
Kick? A
money?
streaming service. It's I think
Money
a streaming
laundering.
service.
Yeah, I don't even know what they do.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was it. That was our championship review. I hope you enjoyed. I've been your host, AST Troubleman himself. This has been
Simply done.
simply done and
Mushiri.
Mushiri. Yeah, catch you on the next one. Peace out.